Yes, this season in our most previous modern season, he top 8 in Chicago, and he top 8 at the other one where it's escaping right now where it was, but he top 8 at both of
Toronto.
them. It was Toronto. Thank you.
I actually went with him.
Yeah, so he top 8 at both of those tournaments, and he is, he's very close to being gold Pro Tour level.
He has 25 pro points.
Yep.
This season, he's not qualified for San Diego, which is, very unfortunate. I would say the way his system was. He is going to Portland.
Yep.
He's going. If he
he's
makes
gonna battle.
He's going to try to go for gold in Portland.
His other two teammates, of course, just a Grand Prix champion.
Yeah,
Zohar.
You don't mess with the Zohar.
Yeah, you don't mess with the Zohar. He won Grand Prix Minneapolis 2009.
Limited Grand Prix?
Yeah, limited Grand Prix.
So
beat Matt Spurley in the finals, I'm pretty sure. And then his teammate, who Alex said is actually the best player on the team, is John Grudzina. And, we don't know much about him, but if Alex says he's better than the other two guys, I'm willing to believe it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here.
And so Majlaton is going to play a Forest and a Greenside Watcher to go with his Gruul Guildgate. You see Skarren, he does have a Greenside Watcher to go along with his Slicing and Guildgate and his Forest. So
yeah. All right. So it looks like the mirror match. So we'll see what happens here. So Frank Skarren, he showed me his deck. Actually, when I was walking around, yeah, it's very good. He has the Teresa. How do you pronounce
the
it?
new Tesa?
Tesa.
7-mana Tesa?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 7-mana Tesa. He has many other bombs too. He showed me the deck. You know what? I'm just going to look right now. I'm going to take a look.
We'll take a look at a Thrall Parasite right now.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to look at. Greenside Watcher going to untap that Guildgate. What are we going to add to the board here, too? A Gate Creeper Vine. Now, a card that's probably going to move up in a whole lot of pick orders now. It's able to search out and mana fix for you. And that O2 Body, while it was pretty relevant before, I think it gets a little bit better now. And the cards that it did work with before were Launch Party, but there are some interactions with that card that a lot of people aren't going to realize exist now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I actually wrote about that in my article.
I know you did.
Yeah, you guys check it out. Oh, he has a Blood Baron of the Vizcopa.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
card.
pretty much a Bane Slayer Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, just his whole deck is really solid, He has Down and Dirty. He has Tesa. He has Thrashing Moss Dog. So just a lot of solid cards and a couple of bombs.
All right. So that's what you're looking for in a limited deck, because Majlaton here is going to untap. We'll see what he's going to draw. I think he has at least an Axeman Guard in his hand that he's considering playing.
Yeah. So Alex is just 5 colors? Or
let's take a look at Alex's deck here. Let's take a look at the old mana base. See what he's rocking.
Maybe he's just Rug?
I see 5 forests, 2 islands, 2 mountains, 1 plain. So no basic swamps. He also has an Overgrown Tomb, a Celestia, and a Guildgate in there as well.
So probably 5 colors.
Yeah, all those cards just from Return to Ravnica. So he's probably 5 color good stuff.
Yeah.
He also has 2 Greenside Watchers in his deck as well. And just a bunch of different cards as you take a look over here at the deck list. I'm excited to see exactly what he's going to be up to over the course of this game and the next couple as well. So here is the Thrashing Moss Dog. That one comes on in 3/3 with Reach and Scavenge. Just a pure upside card. Great common.
Yeah, it's just a value card all around. So again, this is probably the 5th or 6th individual game that we saw that it's either in a board stale or it's leading towards that. And it looks like it's leading towards that.
I mean, the thing about this limited format, it looks like, is that the ground gets gummed up, and it's more like a traditional limited format, honestly. Where I think certainly our last format was very non-traditional. Sure. These very, very short, fast games. You don't get the opportunity to catch your 6 or 7 mana spells. That's not what really limited is all about. Because Alex is going to add 6 mana to his mana pool. He's going to play a separate Skywatcher. Knock down that Thrashing Moss Dog right now. That is going to be detained for the time being. That 3/3 can't stand tall against what Skarren has in play.
Alright, so Frank draws for his turn, and Frank really has no good attacks, and I'm not sure what his exact plan is. Maybe he wants the game to go really long, maybe he wants to draw that Blood Baron, maybe...
No, I would want to draw it.
Yeah, why not?
It looks like a, what do we got there?
Putrefy?
We got a Putrefy with an Extort trigger from the Thrall Parasite.
Okay, yeah, not bad.
So there goes the separate Skywatch. Skarren able to get in a couple points of damage here, in for 3 over. Going to move Majlaton down to 16 total. And it looks like that's going to be Frank's turn here. Yep. Let's just pass the turn back.
Now, do you think it's good to actually Putrefy that?
Well, I mean, this is the question we've been asking quite a bit today, right? How often do you want to use removal? The other question is how much removal does Skarren have in this deck?
I mean, even if you have another piece of removal, why not hold the Putrefy? You have the Moss Dog that could trade with the Skywatch, right?
That's true.
Do you really care about getting 3 points of damage? Because next turn you're not going to be able to get any points of damage, really? Unless Majlaton just plays nothing and then you go attack with the Moss Dog?
I mean, if Majlaton has nothing, you're probably winning anyway, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you can certainly make that argument.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of playing Putrefy on that Skywatch right there.
Take a look at some of Majlaton's other cards here.
Okay.
A copy of Armed Dangerous.
Well, that card's good.
A Flesh Blood. We saw this card a little bit earlier. Rurik Thar.
Okay. So he has a lot of options, a lot to work with.
Yeah.
A lot of tricks, a lot of solid creatures.
The thing that we've seen over the course of this weekend, as that is going to be, who are
6/6. 5 mana 6/6 every turn.
That's the Species Gorger.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. So every turn, he has to return something to his hand. He has to return a creature. But sometimes you want to return that creature.
That's true.
Imagine if that Skywatch was in play.
That's true.
But then again, imagine if you had that Putrefy to kill the 6/6.
Yeah, I mean, that thing is gigantic right now, right? You look at this thing versus the board that Skarren has in play, Species Gorger reigns supreme.
Let's see what Frank has here.
Frank has a Basilica Guards with an Extort trigger, so that's not impressive.
No, and that 6/6 is going to be dangerous.
And I love taking a look at all the Simic cards all the time. Take a look at the creature type there. A Frog Beast.
Oh, Frog Beast, yeah.
Greenside Watcher.
No fishes, no crabs there.
So we've seen cards like this before, right? We've seen Stampeding Wildebeest, Stampeding Sero.
Yep.
And of course, this is going to work out great with cards that have battlefield triggers.
Void Wilder.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome, right?
You want to look at cards across, of course, all of the guilds.
Yeah.
You take a look at cards that have Extort. Gives you a spell to play every turn, but preferably a cheap one.
Yeah.
You also take a look at it being a 6/6. That thing's going to evolve your squad. Almost impossible for it not to.
So what do you think here? Do you think Majlaton wants to get in, or do you think he wants to leave the 6/6 back in defense for now?
Really depends on his hand, right?
Yeah.
Like you really have to take that into consideration. But at the same time, if he does get in here, it's going to take at least a couple blocks.
Yeah, it's going to be at least a triple block.
Yeah.
To be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Majlaton's tapping 4 mana. Pondering. What am I going to do? Tapping 4. There's a good shot of Zohar, Grand Prix champion. Probably about 3 years ago now since he won his Grand Prix.
Yeah, 09 he won in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Right at the back end of that Pro Tour season.
Yeah.
You see Majlaton.
There it is.
Does have this is the Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper. There it is. He gets to steal a creature. What does he go in to steal?
This one looks insane. I've never seen this Gatekeeper in action. The Smelt Ward Gatekeeper. I mean, it's a threat, and that's not so bad.
It's fine. I think he's gonna steal the Moss Dog here. That's my guess. All right.
Moss Dog
Alex
is going to
read my mind. And I think now he could be able to get in with the 3/3 and the 6/6. And after this, he'll probably just replay his creature that he bounced. Thoughts on that line?
I don't hate that at all.
Okay.
And here comes Majlaton in.
Yeah. So Frank really doesn't have too many good blocks. He can just block there and chump the 6/6.
Yeah, I mean, Gatekeeper Vine looks like it's ready to bite the dust here.
Is there any real reason to chump with the Gatekeeper Vine rather than just
take 6 out of 15?
Yeah. What do you think?
Especially when you have 2 Exort guys out there.
Yeah. Okay. It's closer, right? I mean, your life total is a resource, so maybe Frank does have a launch party in his deck. If he does, I'd be surprised with that chump block.
Yeah.
Maybe if he has something like a smite or something.
So I think here's the scary thing, right?
Okay.
Because we were talking about interactions with the Species Gorger. Well, Smelt Ward Gatekeepers is on the screen, and that's an interaction with the Species Gorger. Because you can bounce that and cast that every turn.
Okay.
So I think Skarren's going to need to be able to deal with either the Species Gorger or the Gatekeepers, as it looks like we're going to see Down and Dirty.
Down and Dirty.
Target player going to discard 2, return target card from the graveyard. You see, we're experiencing just some slight camera difficulties right now. We do apologize for that. Getting it taken care of the best that we can for you guys at home, as we do not want to have to cut away from this match. That's for sure.
I think Majlaton's in great shape here. Really?
Majlaton has, so he had to discard a
Common Bond,
a
Beetle,
and the Dreg Beetle. Yeah. So not the worst discards.
So he's going to return the Gatekeeper. And what can Frank do here? Well, if Frank didn't use his Putrefy, he wouldn't have to worry about this.
Yeah.
So I hate to be the guy who said
Putrefy kill again?
Putrefy killed the Skywatch.
Yeah,
which didn't matter because the Moss Dog was able to block it.
Yeah.
I mean, Majlaton would have never even attacked with it.
Yeah, so it's all about how you use those resources. You see Frank taking a look over here. Alec Nezin, his teammate to Frank's left, who's currently sideboarding here, Grand Prix runner-up. He is up a game there over John Grudzina.
All right, and there's a shot again.
Zohar.
Alex is thinking, Zohar is talking to a judge. All right, we're back to the match. Let's see.
So now Alex is going to take
The Basilica Guard. He's going to attack him for 6. That's the only thing he could really attack with here. And this time Frank's going to take it. Frank's going to go down to 15 life.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst thing to take. Get that thing out of the way. Keep on attacking. Greenside Watcher's going to untap. Here comes the old Axebane, and now here is...
Wow.
Yep, give me a card.
Here's another Gatekeeper.
So I see a lot of interactions with Species Scorcher here for Alex's deck. A bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you again. And I think Frank knows, and after the match, I'll tell him. I'll say, hey, Frank, why did you use that feature fund?
Yeah.
You know? And I wonder if he'll agree with me or not.
See Joe Demestrio sideboarding here. Zohar up a game. So we cut back over here.
So Frank's thinking, all right, there's another shot. Good shot of Joe right there. You can see exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, if Joe is definitely in the tank here sideboarding. It makes you wonder, does he want to try to help Frank in the situation? Zohar also taking a look at his sideboard.
Yeah.
Considering his options.
In the background, you see a couple other players playing, a couple others watching.
Yeah.
So just a lot of action going on. I just saw Joe sideboard out a couple of his split cards.
Yeah, the split cards are so good. I'm a little bit surprised that that's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Split cards are so versatile. So you really want to tap all your split cards. All right. So back to Frank. Frank's thinking, hey, how am I gonna get out of this? This is what happens, right?
Yeah.
You have to think. You have to decide what's going on, and it's tough. But I do really like how they have Frank in the middle. Frank's confident in himself. He thinks that he has maybe the most experience. So if you do have the most experience, you want to be the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
You can see the setup there. Alex is also in the middle, and it's not to say that this person is the best player on the team, but it might say something like, hey, this guy played the most with this format. This guy has the most confidence going into this tournament. Let's trust him. He could look to the left. He could look to the right. He could say, hey, don't make this play, don't make that play. Should I mulligan? So you normally want to keep your main guy in the middle.
Yeah. All right. So we do see that Skarren does add the Enforcer to his board.
Yes.
So now he has 3 Extort creatures in play.
Sure, but I mean, Majlaton still just has, pretty much what he wants. For example, he did lose his 6/6. All right, his 6/6 is dead, but he has an army of guys. So Frank needs to draw a spell or a creature or something to keep building his board presence, to keep extorting every turn.
Yeah. So now we're going to see a Crown Ceratok. Adaptive Snapshot does have a counter on it right now, so that's going to make that a 7/3 that does have Trample, which is certainly relevant. Now it's going to trade, it potentially trades with the Mostalk here, but Ceratok, part of the thing that made Ceratok great is that it made all those creatures that have Evolve have Trample.
Sure.
And now we look at cards with Scavenge. Those guys get Trample as well.
Yes. Yes. All right. So these guys are just going back and forth. You see the life totals are still fairly high. I mean, Majlaton now is at 10.
Yep.
Okay. So Extort becomes a real thing.
Especially when there's 3 Extort guys in play.
And Frank's at 19, so Majlaton has to say, hey, even though the board's kind of even, it's kind of cluttered, I'm going to have to start bashing in with my guys to try to end this game before Extort ends it for me.
Yeah.
So I see Frank has a Plains and I think a spell in his hand. So he ends up playing the Plains. So should have 1. Uh-oh. He's tapping 7. Is it for a big spell or is it for some Extorts? Okay, I think it was a Night of Obligation. So it's Night of Obligation, Extort 3.
Triple Extort again. So now he has 4 Extorters on the table?
If I saw correctly, it looks like 4 Extorters. All right.
You weren't lying about him having a good deck, dude.
Yeah, Frank's deck is very good. Yeah, sometimes you wanna just put all the good cards together and say, hey, you have to go X and O. So
now when you were in Charlotte, did you draft any Extort decks? Did your Seal deck have a lot of Extort, anything like that?
No.
So, I mean, we see the power of Extort here in a big way.
I had an Extort deck in the second draft.
Okay.
And I sided into an Extort deck day 1.
Okay.
But my plan was Extort. It didn't happen so often. Actually, I drafted a Simic deck. The one pick that I made that a lot of people, kind of questioned, I took the +9/+9 trample Blood Rush card, first pack, over the red-green Guild Mage. And it worked out. I ended up 3-0ing with the Simic deck, and I just knew I wanted to stay away from Gruul.
Yeah, fair enough. And so we're going to cut over to the Grudzina versus Nezin match. You guys can probably tell at home, we're experiencing a little camera problems on the Skarren versus Majlaton match. So as soon as we do get those taken care of and figure out who does win both that game and the particular match, we'll definitely let you guys know.
Yeah, for
sure. We want to be able to cut into a match that you guys can certainly see the duration of it instead of having to deal with those problems. So we cut over to Grudzina versus Nezin. You see a Gorehouse Chainwalker, a Boros Reckoner, and now an Armored Transport Vroom come into play.
This almost looks like a block constructed deck.
kind of looks like it. I mean, this is definitely a good start here.
Yeah, really strong. Ooh, that's a good answer.
The old walking Humberstone.
Yeah, Haunter of the Night Veil. Okay, as you can see on the screen, creatures your opponent controls gets -1, -0.
Yep.
You know, again, nice answer to something ridiculous like Assembled Allegiance.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it sticks around. We'll see what John can do here. You know, what can he do?
Not only is this slow, the thing about this card that's kind of nice too is not only does this thing slow down armies, but this is a relevant body as a 3/4.
Yeah.
You can definitely give the beatdowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's uncommon for a reason. 5 mana 3/4. I mean, 5 mana 4/4 is a strong card.
Yeah.
This is 3/4 a little weaker, but the ability definitely makes up for it.
So Grudzina's going to come in here. Now, of course, this reeks in combat.
Yeah.
So the question is which one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the armor transplant just can't die anyway.
Yeah, I mean that attacks a free
transporter,
roll.
yeah.
I mean that attacks certainly a free roll here. The big question is what other tricks does my opponent have?
I think it's a Blood Rush. That's what I think.
I mean, there are a lot of cards you could have here. Blood Rush, Martial Glory.
Yeah. It looks like a Battle Jester. Mazaki, right? Correct.
Yeah.
The 1 mana. It's gonna be. It's a 4 mana 3/3 Hill Giant with Blood Rush.
Yeah.
So, and there it is.
So there's the Rumble Belt. There's the Rumble Belt Majaka. That's going to take care of that guy. +3/+3. Get the Haunter of Night Veil out of here.
Okay.
Follow that up with a Bomber Core.
All right. So that's pretty good here. Nezin's going to fall even lower. And this game definitely looks good for John.
Yeah.
So Alec is up a game.
Yes.
But this game is starting to look really good for John. So we'll see what Alec can do to pull out of it. So it starts off by tapping a Swamp. I'm not too sure what 1 mana spell he could have. And he quickly untaps that Swamp. So we'll give Alex some time to think. He's definitely one of the more methodical players in the game.
And he's also getting beaten down badly, so he's going to want to think things through. As you do see Demestrio there on the side screen for you. He's against so hard. Bhagat down a game.
Yes. So and it looks like Frank is still battling in game 1 the way it looks. The board looks kind of cluttered. He has a lot of lands to play.
Yeah.
So it looks like 1 match is in game 1. A couple other matches, most likely will be going to a game 3. Maybe, not too sure quite yet. All right, so there's a Death's Approach. Yeah.
Death's Approach is what he's trying to figure out. What do I want to target this with? Because there's certainly some choices out here. Death's Approach is going to give currently -1/-1.
Maybe just kill the artifact.
I mean, he can kill the armor transport. He can lessen the impact of a Boros Reckoner. He can put on the Gorehouse Chainwalker and try to 2-for his opponent. There's a lot of options available to him. I don't know what the best one is because it feels like to me that Nezin is trying to set something up.
Yeah, I mean,
what that is though is the question.
Yeah, normally before you play a spell, you should probably know the target.
Yeah, I agree.
So to give less information away, but sometimes it happens. Not the end of the world here. So John untaps. John draws. All right, so a Sacred Foundry.
Yep.
All right. I wonder if these guys do. You keep the cards you play with. John will probably be happy keeping that Sacred Foundry.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What does he have? It looks like he has at least 2 spells in hand.
I think one of those cards there for John is Mark of Death.
Ooh, yes. So pretty much he'll allow 1 creature to block and nobody else. The only problem is Alec only has 1 guy in play.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really have the same impact. You can see on the screen, Mark of Death, 3 mana and 1 red. So 4 mana sorcery, target creature under opponent controls blocks its turn. If able, untap that creature. Other creatures that player controls can't block this turn.
That sure is a fun card to use on something that has been unleashed.
Yes.
Let me tell you, that's quite the combo against someone who's playing Unleashed deck or just happens to have an Unleashed guy in their deck.
Yep. Just pretty much use it as a falter.
Yeah.
And Alec is thinking here. He has the Boros Reckoner. He has the Bomber Corpse. He has 3/2 Unleash. All right, so he's going for it.
Yeah, there's Mark of Death. Okay.
Mark of Death. He's saying, hey, you have to block. Your guy has to block. Alec reads it. Just make sure he knows what it does. Figure it out. Do I want it to resolve? Maybe he has some sort of counter spell.
Yeah, the question he's probably asking himself, right, is like, okay, if this resolves, after I let this resolve, am I able to block with my Rakdos Key Room because there was no creatures in play when this happened? And I actually feel like that's what he's probably asking a judge about. Is okay, so I didn't have Rakdos Key Room was not a creature, but now that it is a creature, am I able to block with it? And it doesn't look like he is. He's able to trigger here the Bomber Core. He says, I'm going to shoot you, put you down to 8. You can block however you want to.
Yeah. Just too much of a risk for Alec to try to activate it.
Yeah.
He probably got shot down by the Bomber Core.
Yeah.
You know, so, but definitely a reasonable question he might be talking to a judge about. But here John comes in. He's attacking. What do you think? What's Alec going to do? Tough, right?
I mean, definitely tough.
Yeah. Ooh,
downsize makes it less tough.
Something you don't see very often because I honestly don't have much respect for the card.
I mean, I am actually a big fan of cards like that in these formats. You know, previous formats we had a card like Hysterical Blindness. The reason I like a card like that is because oftentimes people do not play around it.
Okay, that's
it's a card because, as you said, it's a card that you don't respect. I think it's a card that a lot of people don't respect. Understandably so. It's not our rules book or anything, but what it is a card that people don't play around and it messes up people's combat math.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a good point. It's also very good against the Wild Beastmaster, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
3-mana 1/1. Yeah, pretty much give all your guys -X instead. Yeah. So here we have, I mean, kind of the same situation. Alec would love for the Rakdos Key Room to be able to block, just because it's a 3/1 first striker. We'll be able to deal with the Boros Reckoner, deal with the 3/2 Unleash guy, but he just can't because of the Bomber Corpse. All right, well, he's going to activate it after the battalion.
Okay.
So that's one line he could do, yeah.
Trying to get a block in here.
Yeah. I feel like John definitely has something, though.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine he doesn't. I mean, besides, Boros Reckoner that's nigh unbeatable right now.
Yeah.
It's certainly very hard for Alex's deck to try to beat. He's certainly struggling against this.
Yeah. So Alec needed to wait to activate the key rune, otherwise would have got shot down.
Yeah.
But once he chooses a target for battalion, he's free to activate it.
Yep. So now we see the blocks there from Alec.
So what do you think John has? I mean, he definitely has something, because...
I mean, he's looking at that card. He's staring a hole through that card instead.
Yeah.
So here's the Vishino Shanktail.
All right, so it's going to be +3/+1 in first strike.
Yes. And he's kind of saying, Alex, I dare you to have a removal spell in this situation. Or else Chainwalker Bites to Dust.
Yep.
So that's going to put him down to 1.
And John passes the turn. Now, both these teams are 4-0, so, they're halfway there.
Yep.
This is round 5 of 9 already.
And so now here's a Frostburn Weird. So Frostburn Weird actually, as innocuous as this card looks because Alec is a 1, what Frostburn Weird can do is he can block the Boros Reckoner and then spin itself to death.
Yes, but I believe John just drew a Boros Charm.
Okay.
So that's...
Yep, and so you're going to see a bunch of activations so that Frostburn Weird doesn't actually deal any damage to the Boros Reckoner, and John says, well, I have a Boros Charm, so you're dead.
Yeah, I think I would not even have shown the Boros Charm.
Well, I mean, part of the reason I think that he actually wants to show the Boros Charm there is because Alec doesn't have any blue mana up there, so there's no threat of a counter spell.
Okay.
Additionally, it makes Alec think a lot about Boros Charm the coming game. Maybe overthink himself a little bit. That's the thing about showing a card when you may or may not need to, right? Like if you hold it, then you have the element of surprise. If you don't hold it, you have the element to bluff.
Okay. Definitely fair. It can go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see your argument. So by the looks of it, I can't tell for sure if Frank or Alex won.
Yeah, we're gonna find. I mean, they're definitely shuffling up for game 2, so we'll get a report to see who did win.
By body language, I think Alex lost.
That's your read?
Yeah, that's my read.
I think I'm with you too. I think Alex lost.
Yeah. All right. So Alec Nezin is going to game 3. You see Frank Skarren and Alex Majlaton in the middle. And to the right of your screen, you see Joe Demestrio and Zohar. You don't mess with the Zohar.
You do not mess with the Zohar. Zohar up a game, showing Joe Demestrio, kind of a newer player to the scene. You do not mess with the Zohar, Gerard.
Yeah, people don't know. I love that movie too.
I will never watch that movie.
Really?
I just have a feeling.
All right, so we were right. Frank Skarren wins game 1.
Yeah.
All right,
so Majlaton back against the wall a little bit here.
Zohar's board looks pretty good.
So we cut into Zohar's game. We see Zarichi Tiger. We see a Tithe Drink. We see a Cellular Songbirds with what looks to be the Burr token there in the form of Mike Flores against a Wind Drink with a +1/+1 counter and a separate Skywatch. We see Zohar getting in here in a big way.
Yeah, I'm surprised. maybe he has a big spell to cast and he doesn't have time to use the Zerichi Tiger.
Yeah. So he comes across there with the Cellar Songbirds, the Tiger, and the Tide Drain to deal 5. Going to put Demestrio down to 12.
Could this be an Obsidian aid? Because he looked at his opponent's graveyard? What do you think?
Just a Confessor.
Confessor with Extort.
Yep. The question here is how much life is he going to pay for the Confessor?
Well, I believe Joe only has 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Is he going to pay 2?
He is. Drakewing Crassus and a Plains. Crassus goes to the bin.
Is it not exiled? Yeah, it is exiled.
Yeah, it does exile that.
It should be exiled. I'm not sure how relevant it is.
Yeah, we'll get it taken care of there for the spotter.
Sure.
We got 2 spotters looming around the table to get it taken care of. So
okay, good.
Get that Drakewing Crassus out of that graveyard, Mr. Demestrio, and there it goes.
All right.
See? Just that easy.
Just that easy. Wow. You guys are on top of things here, Cedric.
We try to be.
Yeah?
We try to be. So now we look at Demestrio's board state of 2 3/3s in play against that Mike Flores 1/1 bird token. It looks like that bird token is going to be on chump duty, and Zohar is trying to catch up here as he knows that Demestrio has a Plains in his hand and a mystery card that was his draw step. Don't know if it was useful or not, but
looks
he's
like a spell.
Reaching for the mana here.
Yeah, it looks like something. Is it an arrest? Not too sure. It might have been an arrest.
Yeah, it does look quite a bit like an arrest. Yeah, so that's an arrest.
Yeah.
He's asking his teammate right now, Frank Skarren, do I arrest this thing, get in for 8 damage, put him down to 2, or do I, alternatively, as he's going to arrest that creature, get in for 8, put him down to 2? You know, the other decision there is, do I arrest something else?
Like the tiger?
Make the bird have to chump, and then I've got lethal in the air. So let's see how this ends up panning out there as Skarren and Demestrio come to that decision.
Zohar draws. Persia Profane. Not bad, right? Looking 2 life off that. Some more life for the Extort. That would only bring him up to 6.
Does he have enough mana to do everything? If he plays Persia Profane plus Extort, so it looks like he's short of land to go Persia Profane, Extort plus gain 2 from the Tiger. That would be a total of 7 life gained, but it looks like he's a little bit short.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the other black card in his hand is. It might be just the Black Gatekeeper, which is not really going to do too much here.
Yeah, not right now. Yep. Zohar's going to come across here for 2, 3, and 4 points of damage. Going to put Demestrio down to 7.
Yeah, really tough spot for Zohar. Not sure what his best line is. So he's tapping 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay.
So that's a right of precinct 6. This is going to push him up to 6? Or up to 4?
Yeah, I think he's at a game 2. Yeah, I believe he'll still end up losing this game. Yeah. So he's at 6. This is the correct life total?
Yeah, I think this pushes up. Yeah, I believe this pushes it up to 6.
Yeah, up to 6. Okay, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. So
this game's really tight.
The Tiger will gain 2 more life, put him up to 8, and it won't be a lethal attack.
Okay. So what can Joe do here? Is Joe going to attack, do you think? Can he? Looks like Frank and Joe are kind of arguing about something.
Yeah.
They say, I told you not to play that card.
Yep.
What's going on? Whatever card it was. Looks like a Simic card. Maybe a Simic enchantment?
A lot of mana. So this is Crisis Incubation.
Okay.
Maybe
we could pull that on the screen for everybody.
So its creature can't attack or block, and attack abilities can't be activated. Return it to its hand, put 2+1/+1 counters. Oh my god, that's actually going to be
Yeah, it's going to be exact. 5, 6, 7, 8, and he's only gained 2.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, something you don't really see too often is 7 mana. Just put 2+2/+2 counters on it. So there it is. All right, so now they're going to a game 3.
So Crisis Incubation off the top
for
the win there from Demestrio to bring this to a 3rd and final game, as now we'll cut over to our next match here while those players are shuffling for sideboard. Unbelievable top deck there from Demestrio. Wow. You can see why they're laughing too, because it's kind of counterintuitive to use that as, you want to use it as passive effect, not as a way to bolster your team, and it's an expensive one as a 7 mana way to give your guys +2/+2.
Sure, and it looks like Frank's mulliganing in the middle match.
Yeah, or at least deciding what hand he wants to keep.
Yeah, because it looked like Alex had his hand and Frank was still shuffling.
Yeah.
So, and plus Alex was smiling. He's like, yeah, my opponent's mulliganing.
Yeah. crazy game there between Demestrio and Zohar.
I could be wrong though. Maybe they're both keeping 7.
Well, certainly Alex is talking over the decision there with Zohar. I know one thing about Alex, since I played with him actually in San Jose. He was my teammate there. He does not like to mulligan.
Okay, yeah, no, Frank is definitely mulliganing.
Okay.
You can see him shuffling there. All right, so we have an overhead view, as you can see, of Zohar, Alex, and John on the right side of your screen. Left side of your screen, Joe Demestrio, Frank Skarren, and Alec Nezin.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to go switch to another match shortly, but for now, let's just take a look at exactly what Frank and Alex is up to.
So Skarren with Justice Swamp, Alex with the Forest. He's going to pass the turn back. So we're underway here. Looks like we got our camera problems fixed on this table, and we should be good to go for the duration of this match.
All right, so Alex plays a couple lands.
There's your greenside watcher.
Yeah. Now all he needs is what? A guild gate.
Yeah.
And he'll be happy. He'll be ready to go. Frank with 3 mana plays Clue Stone. So kind of interesting. Frank's trying to build his mana while Alex is, I guess, also trying to build his mana.
Yeah.
Here with the Axebane Guardian. Also attacking for doing the process.
Yep. So Axebane Guardian going to come in, while Greenside Watcher comes across for 2. Alex currently ahead in both the lands and the mana advantage, but this is going to change all of the things, my friends, as Blood Baron of Vizkopa has come into play. 4/4, lifelink, pro-white, pro-black, nice mythic rare.
Yeah.
Frank, not so bad at all.
Yeah, seriously. Let's see if Alex has a good way to, deal with this.
There are not many in this limited format to deal with this card. Here's another Axebane Guardian, so Alex is certainly generating a lot of mana.
Oh,
another Greenside Watcher, so he has no problem generating a lot of mana. The problem for him right now, Gerard, is lack of gates.
Yeah.
Lack of gates.
He has no gates. Where are all the gates?
That's the question. So, Frank's tapping some lands here. Blood Baron is just such a great card. People have compared it to Baneslayer Angel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which. I think Baneslayer is better.
I mean, it's tough, right? Like, the protections that Baneslayer had were largely irrelevant. Where protection from white and protection from black are anything but. Those are both insane protection abilities. I mean, right now, protection from white, protection from black not helping, because if he was ascending with the Blood Baron, I think Alex would attempt to double block with both those Greenside Watchers.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think both cards are completely ridiculous in the context of their individual formats. I mean, Baneslayer Angel was in a base set.
Okay.
Can't forget about that, too. And now here comes the Dreadmangler. Alex going to take the 3 damage. And now the other thing you have to keep in mind here, too, Gerard, is what? Dreadmangler plus the Scavenge. Very scary.
Yeah, dangerous. All right. So there is a forest. And we have a shot of Alex. And there's a close-up. So how much mana does he have? He has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if he has a guild gate, 10.
Yeah.
So there's access to 10 mana here.
Getting close to World Spawn Worm territory?
Yeah, he is.
But I don't think he has one of those.
Probably not.
Because there's the Species Gorger. Okay. That's turn back. So this is what we saw the last time we saw Alex play. He's using Species Gorger to his advantage, bouncing, the different gatekeepers and getting a huge advantage, like the Smelt Lord gatekeeper from game 1. But again, no gates this game. So those kind of shenanigans are not going to happen. They're not going to happen.
Yeah. That's the drawback with the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers are nice, but if you don't have the guild gates, what's going to happen? You just have a 4 mana 2/4.
It's funny, right? The gatekeepers are nice, the gates are nice, in combination are nice, but you have to draw the combination of those cards to be great. Well designed cards too, as I think if they were asking you for 1 gate, I think that would be way too good.
Oh, definitely. If it was 1 gate, way too good. And if it was something like a 4 mana 2/5, it would just be an Armored Guard.
Yeah.
So 4 mana 2/4, I think, is like the perfect number for them.
Me too.
All right, so we'll see what happens.
So hard.
Everyone's thinking so much. You see good shots of them,
Yeah.
The players
those fellas are deep in the tank. I know the
they
feeling.
are. Yeah. You kind of forget about everything else in the world, and you're just like focusing on this game, this match, this turn.
You see Alex has drawn a Gate Creeper Vine.
That's really good.
So Gate Creeper Vine is going to allow him to search out a gate finally.
Yeah.
He's found 1 of 2.
This is kind of his own thawing glaciers he's building here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just pulling out gates. That's the important thing.
Species
go find a
Gorger,
gate.
Species Gorger has a million interactions in Alex's deck, it looks like. It looks like there has never been a better home for a Species Gorger in its limited lifespan than this deck.
Do you think it's the first pick?
It's certainly a build around me card.
Yeah,
it is.
I think it's first
gigantic too.
Yeah.
It feels like it's an early pick in a draft.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right, so next turn he'll have the second gate that he needs.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to start playing his Gatekeeper. He'll play a Smelt Ward Gatekeeper, and he could start comboing with that as well. And also he'll have more mana.
So now there's an Adaptive Snapshot followed up by that Greenside Watcher. He's got plenty of mana out there. Putrefy is going to take care of the Species Gorger, so shenanigans are going to end now. And I feel like that's a much better target for Putrefy than we saw in the first game.
Oh, definitely.
With the Separate Skywatch.
Yeah. I think Frank learned his lesson. So,
you know, even though Frank is up a game, yeah, I agree with you. It feels like he did learn his lesson in game one. As you guys do take a look at the other matches up top there and at the bottom, 1-1 Nezin versus Grudzina and Demestrio versus Zohar. It's getting crunch time in this match, my friends.
It is. All right, so what's... Oh, there's a Purge of Profane.
Oh.
Double.
The red and blue Gatekeeper.
Wow.
And Gerard, you talked about it in your article, and you've talked about it during our broadcast this weekend. These Mind Rot and Purge of Profane type effects, these might be where you want to be in this format.
Really good. Now, did Alex draw anything good off the top? He has a lot of lands. It would be nice if you had a card like Clan Defiance. It would be very nice.
It would be nice if he had an awesome rare.
Yeah. Instead, he'll just pass the turn with one card in hand. And what can Frank do? Frank definitely has a better board. His cards are more powerful. They both have a ton of mana.
Yeah.
I think Alex almost has too much mana.
So there's your Snapshot. That's going to get in front of the Baron. And that Snapshot's going to trade with the Baron. So maybe Baron, as good as that card is, maybe not very good against Alex's deck, because Alex's deck looks very green heavy.
Maybe he has a down and dirty?
That's possible. We saw it earlier.
Yeah.
We do see the Enforcer
here.
And
actually,
it is there's down and dirty. You called it.
Yeah.
So there's your regrowth effect. So Frank does not mind that trade at all. Finishes the turn up there, even with an Extort, it looks like, too. So fantastic turn there from Frank, as we see Alex Nezin does win over Grudzina 2-1.
All right.
So Skarren, Demestrio, and Nezin need one more.
Yeah, back against the wall for Alex. Yeah. He has to win here. And honestly, it's not looking that great.
Not when, as you see, a battering Crassus, not when your opponent willingly traded off the Blood Baron of Vescopa just to get it back.
Just get it back, though. He's just like, yeah, I want to get that snap draw off the table, and then I'm going to have a Blood Baron again.
How confident can one feel?
Yeah, pretty confident, I would say. So it looks like Frank is going to replay with Extort.
Yeah.
That's why he's tapping 6 mana.
Good, clean living right there.
Yeah, just why not, right?
Blood Baron's not good enough. Ding you for 1 and gain 1 if you don't mind.
Mangler should be coming in.
Mangler is coming in.
Any reason why maybe the Enforcer should come in as well, or no?
I mean, I don't want to trade my Enforcer with the battering Crassus. I have no interest in that. Okay. I love the fact that I have an Extorter in play. Every spell I draw is going to be better than the last one, just because Extorts are just going to keep piling up, and that's the way that we saw Frank win game 1, is he did have 4 Extort guys, and just draining and gaining against Alex, and Alex could never get any headway.
Yeah.
Could never get back in the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
So I think Frank just drew a Forest this turn. Not sure if he has a spell in hand or not.
Some reorganizing his mana right now. Feels like a spell to me. We'll see, though.
All right, so now what are Frank's attacks? What can he attack with? Whew. It's tough, right? I mean, the Blood Baron has half of the ability, right? Alex is on 10.
I mean, I like the Dread Mangler attack.
All right, Dread Mangler comes in. What do you do if you're Alex?
I'm at 10.
Chump?
I could double block. I could chump. I could just take 3.
I think taking it is okay. He only has 1 Extort creature to worry about.
Make it 2.
Make it 2. All right.
Night of Obligation now.
All right. Let's see. Ooh, Skywatch.
How much of an impact does that have on the board?
That might do something here. You know, probably not much, but it's a start, right?
So there's an Separate Skywatch. He's going to drain that. He's going to detain, excuse me. Getting Extort and Detain mixed up. He's going to detain the Drag Mangler there.
Sure.
As we do find out that Demestrio does win his match over Zohar 2-1.
Oh, okay. So 2-1.
Yep. But assuming these players want to finish out this game, I think we'll stay put here. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
But we won't be staying for much longer, I've got a feeling, Gerard.
Probably not. I mean, Frank's board is
my
really...
God, now you see Guardian of the Gateless come into play. This was a bomb uncommon from Gatecrash. You said Frank's deck was good,
yes.
And I was a little skeptical.
Okay.
I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to call you out, but I saw some mediocre cards in game 1. I see all the hits here.
Yeah, we still haven't seen Tessa yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Tessa, another one. 7-mana bomb from Dragon Mage. So now that the match is over, Alex is probably a little disappointed that even if he wins, it's not gonna matter for him.
Alex is a little bit disappointed, but I also think that Alex knows he has his back against the wall
in
such a big way that it's like, it wasn't on me. We were gonna lose anyway.
Yeah.
Because he is getting, as you see, the Shrek Beetle here. For lack of a better term, it feels like to me he's getting crushed right now.
Yeah.
And it's just the card quality on Frank's side is a little bit better than Alex, or a lot bit better.
Definitely.
Who are we kidding?
Definitely here. But I mean, Alex's team falls to 4-1, which is still a solid record.
So the police don't get sacrificed there from Frank. He's going to play a Plains, see if he has any good attacks to make here.
Let's see. I mean, Frank can just sit back and wait until he draws more spells to just extort Alex out as well.
That's true.
That's another line of play. Might not be the correct line of play, but...
I still love this attack here with the Dread Mangler, just because what's the worst that can happen? Either I'm going to eliminate a guy, or you're going to eliminate my Dread Mangler, and if you do that, I'm going to scavenge out of my Guardian of the Gateless, I'm going to make that into a 6/6, and I can beat you in the air because you're a separate Skywatch. That ain't no match for my Guardian of the Gateless.
Yeah, definitely true. All right, so Alex is in the tank here, and...
He does just block with the battery crashes.
Trade, why not?
Yep.
That's what Alex thinks.
There's a bunch of mana here. He's going to scavenge.
Yeah, just put on the Guardian.
Yep, just put it right on the flyer, which is what I thought Skarren would do.
Makes the most sense.
You're going to see Majlaton likely facing down a lethal attack next turn. 6/6 in the air. Skywatcher's probably going to jump in front. Depends on what Majlaton did draw this turn, of course.
Yeah, it looked like a gold spell. I'm not sure what it is, but I guess maybe nothing that he wanted to play on his turn.
Yeah.
With a Selesnya charm. I'm usually pretty good at the pitchers.
You got a pretty good eye.
Yeah, I feel like I played a lot of limited in this one.
Yeah, I played a lot of Return to Ravnica. I only played some Gatecrashes. Got rather stale for me quickly.
Okay.
But yep, it is a
Selesnya charm.
It is a Selesnya charm. Good eye, Gerard.
Thank
you. Go.
Yeah.
That's why we brought you in.
Yes.
And now Thrall Parasite. Double
no.
Extort, put you to 2. If I draw a spell, that is.
Yeah, 3 Extorters now. This is why Extort is so good. Just because when you draw your spell, it has an additional bonus, and when your opponent draws a spell, it doesn't.
I wonder how much better Thrall Parasite gets.
Thrall Parasite, I just think is good in general. It was really good against Simic, yeah. Good against, Scavenge.
Frank, Axebane Guardian off the top, 3 Extorts, extend the hand. Frank Skarren, Alec Nezin, and Joe Demestrio do win the match 3-0.